Hello, I'm AxelMC131 and welcome back to Behind the Blocks in Minecraft 1.9. And today I am going to be showing you guys an updated version of the Magic Utilities one command creation that I showed you a little while back. Back then it was just a proof of concept, and I have made quite a few additions and also some changes to the way it works. But it's now technically version 0.3 because I'm still working on it quite a bit, but I've decided that I'm going to release this, release it again at this point, update the original Pastebin, so that you guys can check out what's changed and what's new, most importantly. Now, if you didn't catch the original video, Magic Utilities is a one command that adds a number of magical items and stuff into the vanilla Minecraft game, using commands, of course, and it's combination of focusing on decorative and utility and also combat. Now, at the moment, there are 5 items or tools that you can craft, including the Enchanted glazing from the first video, and they are split into 2 decorative items, which also have uses, of course, and 3 combat-focused items. So we're going to go ahead and get the command in. I have it pasted in my clipboard, so we're just going to paste it into the command block, set that to always active, and whabam! Whoops. Whabam! There we go. Magic Utilities has been successfully installed, created by yours truly, compiled with Mr. Gretto's command combiner, and custom crafting by generator by the A plus NB. And thanks again to the A plus NB. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but I keep his custom crafting generator on hand when I need it. And I decided that I would use his generator and his custom crafting mechanic for this, because the way I had it before, where you had to make the fancy table thing and then just throw items on top, it wasn't very sleek, it didn't feel very interactive, and it was also hugely complex to add new recipes. This is so much simpler for both the creation and the actual gameplay. So, we're going to go ahead and look at some of the items now. So, this is all the equipment that you're going to need to craft the 5 items respectively. So, if you want to get an idea for what you need to make some of them, then take a look here. 1 or 2 of them you might have to go to the nether, you never know. But there are varying levels of difficulty, varying levels of, I don't know, well, they're all completely different, so I can't really say that they have their different tiers, really, but they will all have unique functions, and I'll show you what each of those are. So to get started, I'll just put this command block out of the way. To get started, you're going to want a crafting table, and you're also going to want an ender pearl, and this is how you're going to make the custom crafting table. So all you've got to do is chuck a crafting table down on the ground, and then throw an ender pearl on top, and that will suddenly turn it into this block, which is the mage's work table. And this is what you'll be using to doing all your magical crafting for the items in this command system. Alright, so let's get started with the first one, and we're going to go from the one that you guys have already seen, the Enchanted glazing, and it now has this new recipe. We're going to need 1 iron ingot, we're going to put that in the top there, 1 block of glass in the middle, and 1 piece of magenta dye. And magenta dye is actually fairly easy to come by. And if we stick that at the bottom there, we'll get 2 Enchanted glazing, as you can see. A magical case that can be placed on a normal standing torch, granting it a mystic aura of sight. And I'm going to show you how to use this now. So I'm just going to grab a torch, and I'm actually going to set it to night. Time set night. There we go. Now, normally, if I place a torch down, it lights up a small area around it. That's all well and good. But if we take one of these pieces of Enchanted glazing and we drop it on top, it's going to give us a pretty neat little buff. So first of all, it makes this beautiful little candle with a leash on it that you can just break. And it also creates this aura around it that gives night vision to all players, I think within about 8 blocks of it. Now, once you go outside that range, you'll see that it starts dropping off, and you've got like a little 10-second grace period before it's back to being, pretty dark. There we go. But you can also see that the particle effect kind of represents where that area is, roughly. So once you step inside that, you'll get the night vision effect, which is pretty damn cool. Now, the idea that I had for this practical use was, I know a lot of people who, when they go mining, don't place torches, which thoroughly annoys me because I place down torches all the time when I'm mining. So the idea is that you can place a torch down at the entrance to a cave with one of these candles on it, and you've then got, 10 seconds of night vision, which is actually a fair amount of time, to run around throughout the cave and see if there's anything, that you might want to explore within it. And if there isn't, cool, you can just head straight back to the exit and go and carry on. Now, two things to note from this. You can, of course, remove these just by breaking the torch, but you don't get the glazing back. It will be lost, so you will have to make more. Second of all, you can't make these on the side of a block. So you can see that the torch here is attached to the side of this grass block. This won't actually work. The torch has to be on the top of a block, like so, for this to actually function. Alright, so that's the enchanted glazing, so we'll just get that out of the way. And the next thing that I'm going to show you is the main melee weapon that I've got so far, which is pretty cool. So we'll show you how to craft this now. You're going to need 1 block of coal, 1 bone, 2 bone meal, and 1 iron ingot, and you want to put them in your crafting table like this, or in your mage's work table like this. 1 block of coal top right, bone in the middle, iron ingot at the bottom left, and then bone meal on either side of the block of coal like that. And that's going to make this the Stave of Cursed Bones. Those who wield such a staff rarely care for their own well-being, of course. Now, this is actually a bone, but it does have a number of effects. You can see that I've got wither there. We'll get to why that is in a moment, but it's actually got a really fast attack speed. It's because it's just an item, you can spam click with it. I haven't figured out how to change that yet, but it does have +6 attack damage, which is fairly average against most enemies, but it's also got smite 5, so it's super powerful against undead. I think you can kill a zombie in 2 hits with this, which is pretty damn cool. Now, it also has one other special thing, and if this is sort of a penalty to wielding the weapon, because it's an item, it doesn't have any durability, so you can use it forever. If I go game mode 0 in survival, now when I'm holding this thing, it gives me wither. Not enough to actually do damage to me, but enough that I can't see how much health I'm on at any given time. So it's a bit of a risk to use it, because you can't actually know how close you are to death, not without looking very closely at your health bar there. So that's an interesting little bit that I put in to kind of balance it out. And of course, if you want to get rid of that, you just hold something else in your hand and that will clear it off. Okay, let's just go back to game mode 1. Okay, so that is the Stave of Cursed Bones. Next up, we're going to have a look at the armour. There is only one piece at the moment, and it's a chest plate, but I'll show you how to make it, and it's actually quite fun. So we're going to take a leather tunic, an undamaged leather tunic, 4 spider eyes, 1 piece of netherwort, 2 pieces of string, and an apple. Interesting combination, I know, but we're going to do it like this. Leather tunic in the middle, spider eyes in the corners, netherwort at the top center, string on either side, and then apple at the bottom. And that makes this the magic cloak. Ooh! I've combined 2 words into one. Ooh! No, it's it's not that incredible. But a fabled yet simple cloak known for its ability to neutralize most poisons that might harm the wearer. And in fact, it does actually make you immune to poison while you wear this. Now, it doesn't provide much armor. If I go game mode 0, it only provides 1.5 points of armor, as with a standard leather tunic. It is black, though, and it's enchanted, which makes it kind of cool. And it does have the mending enchantment, so it slowly repairs durability. It also has a fancy witch particle effect while you're wearing it, so you can kind of show off. So normally I don't have that. If I put it on, I get this fancy particle effect, which is pretty sweet. But it also does make me immune to poison, and I can demonstrate that by summoning a witch. Hopefully it works, because last time I tried this, it actually didn't work, because I'd made a change with the item ID. So she should start by throwing a potion of poison at me, maybe a little bit better than that. And you'll notice that I'm not being poisoned. It's immediately clearing the poison from me. How cool is that? Now if I take this off, I will be poisoned. As you can see, I've now got poison on me. But if I put it on again, she hurt herself. If I put it on again, it clears the poison and makes me immune to poison from then on. How cool is that? And of course you will still use slowness on me, so I'm just going to go back to game mode 1. And get rid of you somehow. Sure, we'll kill you with a diamond sword. There we go. Alright, so that is the magic cloak. It's actually really fun. I think it looks really good. I almost called it the abyssal cloak, just because of how it looks, but I think magic cloak's just kind of cuter. Abyssal cloak sounds way overpowered, and this really isn't. It's not actually that powerful. It just makes you immune to poison, which is kind of cool, actually. Alright, so we'll put that back away. I'm just going to go effect clear, because she got slowness on me. Okay, there we go. Okay, so, next up, second to last one to go. Now, this is the sort of utility weapon. This is actually a stun grenade, basically, and it's called a flashbang. So, we're going to want to craft this 1 blaze powder, 1 gunpowder, and 5 paper. So, a couple of miscellaneous resources there. We're going to put blaze powder at the top, gunpowder in the middle, 2 paper on either side, and then 1 in the bottom, and it's going to make 3 of these flashbangs. Triggers a small energy burst that blinds and disorients nearby targets. And these are actually really fun to use, I find. Now, basically what they do, they don't, when you drop them on the ground, they will start a small timer. After about 4 seconds, they'll detonate. When they detonate, they don't actually explode or do any damage, but they make a horrible noise. And anything within about 8 blocks gets blindness for a second, and also a pretty severe slowness effect. So I'll show you them detonating here. Then it will start giving this little smoke particle effect after a second, then a flame, and then it does that, and gives you a momentary blindness, and then pretty severe slowness. Okay, so let's break that down again. So if I drop it on the ground here, and then step out of the range, you can still see it timing up, and then it makes a little burst, which doesn't damage any blocks, doesn't do any like physical damage, it just kind of does that horrible little noise. Now these are kind of cool because if you missed throw one, you can of course pick it up again once it's been out for a moment. However, this does mean that if you're using them against players in multiplayer, then they could always run up and pick them up. But the slowness and blindness both work on entities, so if I'm actually being chased by a creeper, let me try and demonstrate this without hopefully blowing myself up. I might actually just go game rule, mob, griefing, false. There we go. And then go game mode 0. Come chase me! Yeah, so he's going to try and chase after me. Now, if I time this right, up, you can see that he's slowed right down just for a couple of seconds, and then he beats feet back after me again. So it gives you a little moment to escape, but it could also be used to scare the hell out of people because it does make a horrible noise. It's awful. I mean, especially if you have your volume turned up. I mean, come on. Oh, God. It's freaky as hell. Oh, now the creeper's coming after me again. Let's see if we can get him again. Come on. Stopped in your tracks. And at that point, we run away again. Alright, so let's go back to game mode 1. So that is the flashbang. And now there's one more item to show you guys. Whoop, that was not the button I meant to place. And this is actually the most recent one, and this is, I think, the most fun. So we're going to take some miscellaneous items here. We're going to go and craft these. I'm going to actually set the time back to day. Let's go midday. There we go. Okay, so we're going to need for this one fish, one raw fish of the just normal type of fish, 1 diamond, 2 lapis, and 3 glowstone dust. And we're going to craft them together like this. Fish in the top, diamond in the middle, lapis on either side, and then glowstone across the bottom. And this makes the fish of wisdom. Yeah. You could probably slap people around with it, but it's got some cool stuff with it. For example, some say that if you feed it the flesh of undead beasts, it will whisper the secrets of the oceans in your ear. Ooh, spooky. Now, on its own, this fish is completely useless. It's just a fish, right? It does nothing. It is enchanted, of course, so it's kind of a glowing fish, but you can't really do anything with it. However, if I take a block of glass and I drop the fish on top, it will put it in a fish tank. Not only that, it will swim around inside the fish tank. How neat is that? So this is the other decorative item, and you can see why. Because you could put this inside your house and just have a little enchanted fish tank. How cool is that? And believe it or not, it gets better. This fish has a very, very unique use. I'm actually just going to go to peaceful so that creeper doesn't creep up behind me and blow me up. I'm going to go to survival. So I'll give myself a stack of rotten flesh, and I'm just going to reset this. There we go. So I've got no experience. When you drop rotten flesh on top of it to feed the fish, because you can feed him with rotten flesh, he will actually give you experience in return. So if I drop it on top here, there we go, I've got a little bit of experience, and it also makes the little fancy enchantment table particle effect. And you can actually just spam drop this on to level up. I believe 1 stack of rotten flesh will get to you to just about level 5. There we go. And yeah, it doesn't actually give any benefit to him, but you just get experience when you stick rotten flesh on top of the fish tank, and that's it. And of course, again, if you want to remove this, then you can just break it, but you don't get anything in return. So you will have to make another fish of wisdom. It sounds so silly, the fish of wisdom, but there it is. And yeah, that's all there is to the command at the moment. Those are the 5 items you can craft, so I'll just go back over them again. We've got the enchanted glazing to make some magical torches. the Stave of Cursed Bones, your fancy undead fighting weapon, the Magic Cloak, a leather tunic which makes you immune to poison, the Flashbang, which will stun enemies that are caught in its blast, and then the Fish of Wisdom, which you can basically chuck rotten flesh on and it will give you experience. I actually did that because I felt that there needed to be more uses for rotten flesh in Minecraft. So I thought, hey, what about exchanging rotten flesh for experience? How could you do that? With a fish that eats rotten flesh. So, yeah. Make as many Babel fish jokes as you want, but there we go. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is in the command. So yeah, once again, the command will be in the description if you want to try it out. Please do try it out and tell me what you think, what you like about it, what you don't like. If you have any suggestions, let me know, because as I said, I am still making changes to this and putting in new items and weapons and such. But yeah, any feedback in the comments below, greatly appreciated. And yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. So thank you very much for watching. I've been XLMC131, and I'll see you next time.